Welcome to CarePod, a safe place to educate, inspire, and renew the caregiver. Listen in with our host, Dr. Kiplee Bell, as she interviews different experts along the caregiving journey.
So I'm here with Felicia Shanken, Philadelphia Women's Network Connection, powerhouse, international speaker, women's strategist. You know all at the CarePod that I bring you the best, and I'm very excited about our conversation today. Specifically, how it relates to the caregiver entrepreneur, just by being a caregiver woman, full plate, all the things. Very excited to have an expert with us to shed light on her why, her path, creating a trail for others in the entrepreneurial space, etc. So welcome, Felicia Shanken, CEO, founder of Philadelphia Women's Network Connection, international and global speaker. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Dr. Kiplee. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here today, to be amongst your listeners. So I'm ready for a great conversation.
Absolutely. So I asked every guest their why. Particularly, I want to highlight your background in health, which was particularly interesting to me, having your background in nursing and then with the Veterans Administration, and now carving this path as a woman's entrepreneur. So tell us about that. Tell us about your pivot, etc.
I have to backtrack a little bit because I am a New Yorker, Queens, New York, grew up there. And I started first in radiology with CAT scan and MRI. So I ended up getting a job after many years working in New York in Jersey. So I moved to Jersey and then I ended up getting a job in Philadelphia. So that's what brought me down into the Pennsylvania area. So I stayed in radiology for a long time. And then, it just seems like, God always speaks to you suddenly. And when people would meet me, they would always say to me, "Are you a nurse? Are you a nurse?" So I guess I gave off that aura. And I decided to go back to school for nursing, Gwyneth Mercy University, shout out to them. Got my associate's degree. So as soon as I got my associate's degree, here's the funny part. I did not pursue my nursing. I ended up getting a job at the Department of Veteran Affairs, still working in radiology while I was going to nursing school. So once I finished my nursing, the calling for entrepreneurship was a little stronger. So some people say, I can't believe that you went through all of that, because Dr. Kiplee, going through nursing school was still your soul. And if you can get through that, you can get through anything. But I just felt like there was a bigger calling. So I did not pursue my nursing, even though I do have my degree and everything like that. And I was sitting in a Panera Bread one day with someone, and I got a vision to start a women's group in the Pennsylvania area in Philadelphia. And the funny part was, like, Philadelphia needed another women's network group, right? And but I wanted something different. I wanted something where women came together. We did like fashion shows, we did hair and makeup, we did crafts, we did fun things, but also walk away with content for their business. So at our events, we would have speakers as well. So all of this now I'm seeing as a vision in this Panera Bread as I'm sitting and talking, right? And I was like, okay, so fast forward, after working for the Veteran Affairs for 9.5 years, and I love that job. I love working with the vets. I came in one day and I sat down and I typed my resignation letter, and I was like, oh, well, can't take it back. It was then that I did that and left that job that everything opened to me. So it was like it was meant to be, because there was no resistance in what I was doing moving forward with the entrepreneurship. And another thing, I was a little selfish. I don't have any sisters. I have 4 brothers, 3 living, and I always wanted a sister. So me creating this women network was like finding my sisters and having sisters around me. So, I love working with women. I love working with my sisters. And I always say, if there's difficulty there, or if you feel that women are not supporting you, then you are in the wrong circle.
That is so beautiful. So beautiful. So what was the trigger? So was there any kind of, most times you meet entrepreneurs and they have a pain point. It
Right.
doesn't sound that it was a pain point for you, that you enjoy each level of your journey. but
Mhm.
you just had a hard call to move in this direction. Or am I assuming, or was there a pain point for you where you said, you know what, this part of this system isn't working and I could do this better? Or, what about the women's group that you created do you feel is a set aside or is different than most?
Well, it's funny that you say that because I worked ever since I was 17 years old. So, fast forwarding now, I'm 62 now. So I've always,
Gorgeous.
thank you, thank you. So I've always had a side business
Hmm.
and I always did something. So I did everything from multi-level marketing to vending machines to event planning, you name it. I did it. So I always had a side business. I was one of those people that I knew that my destiny was not working for someone else. I was never happy doing it. I was never confined to sitting in an office. It was just not me. My spirit was not settled. Working at the VA, I worked on the weekends. So I had my freedom because it was only me working in the CAT scan department at the time. But it was every weekend. And when I started at the VA, I had just got married. I was a newlywed and I was missing everything on the weekends with my family, with my newly husband. And I was like, there has to be something different. Now, I started the Philadelphia Women's Network Connection and my nonprofit PWNC Foundation at age of 55. So when I
Amazing.
job, yeah, when I left my job, I stayed on that job 2 years because of fear. And I was like, oh Lord, because my husband has a good job. He works for Mainline Health doing IT. And I was like, okay, so we're going to go from two salaries down to one salary. And me working 2 days a week at the VA was a full time payment for me. So I was getting a full time salary for only working 2 days. So now, you start getting into your head and then, I tried not to let people know what I was doing because I didn't want to give them the opportunity to get in my head and tell me what was best for me. So I didn't tell anyone that I was leaving my job, not even my husband. So I just was like, okay, Lord, you gave me this vision. I'm going to walk out on faith and I'm going to believe in what it is that you gave me and that it's going to work. Now, I did it backwards and I don't advise anybody to do this. So what I did is I left the job before my salary matched what I was bringing in through my business. I don't advise anybody to do that. I tell my ladies now, make sure you're making the same thing in your business that you're making in your salary and then decide what it is that you're going to do. So I took the leap of faith. I did what I had to do. I dipped into my retirement money and I was like, I'm 55. This has to work. You have to sink or fail. I didn't have the luxury of a 20 or 36-year-old coming out of the gate and saying, well, if it doesn't work, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. 55 years old starting a business, it's like you got to come out of the gate swinging. And if you're not serious about what you're doing, you can't do it. So
Right. So
fast
let
forward.
me pause you there though, because
Yes.
that's an important inspiration for the older adult, young olds, right? That says, well, my ship has sailed. I'm older now. I'm 10 years shy of retirement, what have you. What That's an important inspiration to that woman out there that says, wow, she did it at that age. What's your I guess pearl that you would drop to those people?
My pearl is there are so many tomorrows. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. If you have something in your spirit that you want to do, whether it's travel, start a business, get married, whatever it is, do it. Do it. There is no time frame on what it is that you can do. It's all about mindset. I had a mentor that taught me for a whole year on nothing but mindset. And she said to me, I will know that you are ready to be loose when you can repeat to me everything that I taught you. And it was
Wow.
then and there, yeah, it was then and there that it was that aha moment because you can do anything that you set your mind to. Age is nothing but a number. The limitations is in your mind, it's not in your spirit or your physical being.
So amazing. And we hear that, right? We hear
Mhm.
that so often. And we just kind of pass it off as this kind of cliche inspiration, but it really is the truth. It really is the
Right.
truth. So I'm sorry. So continue it to interrupt you, but that was a poignant message, especially to our older adult woman.
Yeah, so so I again, I did not have time to play around. It was one of those things. You left your job. My husband's like, listen, We're down to one salary. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Bills are still coming in every month. I still have my own bills and everything like that. One thing I have to say about growing up in New York, you learn how to become a hustler. You learn how to make money. And that's what I did. In the beginning, I drove Uber. I'm not ashamed to say that. I took some of my retired money, I credit cards, whatever it is I had to do because I wanted to make this dream a reality. And it's so funny because, again, God has a way of pushing us out of our comfort zone. And I knew and I started both businesses right before COVID. So now I left my job. Here comes COVID. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? So I had to pivot everything that I was doing in person once a month, because for the first year of my business, everything was coming out of my husband and I pocket. We were funding, the food for our events. We were funding the gifts and different things like that. The only thing that was a blessing is the places, the venues that we had our events at. The people let us use the venues, and we weren't charged for that. And it was all up and down Philadelphia in front of City Hall. And Dr. Kiplee, that's prime space.
Of course, yeah.
All of that. Yeah, we got all of that for free for our events. So still, fast forward a little bit, we started right before COVID. So now we had to take all these events that we were doing in person and put them online. So now we had to pivot. Okay. So here's the blessing. It was in that first year of me putting my business online, having workshops, having events, that a digital magazine over in Sweden found our organization. They sent me an email. Would you be interested in writing? Because I love to write. I do the blogs for our website. I love to write. Would you be interested in being a content creator for our magazine?
Amazing.
For me. No brainer for me. So within our first year after COVID of starting my business, we went global.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't. Because when I tell people that story, they're like, I don't believe. So not only did we go global, but we ended up winning an award as an up and coming small business. This is the first year now. So I said, okay, God, I know this is of you and that you're moving in, certain ways. I don't want to tell the secret yet because we're going to get further into this conversation, but that started it. So now I look at fear as forget everything and rise, because it was fear that kept me on that job for 2 years longer than I wanted to be.
That is incredible. I have the chill. Attention, healthcare professionals. Are you looking to enhance your skills and stay ahead in your field? Look no further than our ACCME accredited CME courses. Whether you're a doctor, physician assistant, or nurse practitioner, our courses are tailored to meet your needs. Why focus on geriatric education, you ask? Because regardless of your specialty, geriatric care is becoming increasingly essential. As our population ages, the demand for competent healthcare professionals in geriatrics is higher than ever before. We don't stop there. Our courses also empower caregivers to partner with you in the care of your patients. We believe that by fostering a strong partnership between healthcare clinicians and caregivers, we can provide the best possible care for our elderly population. So join our impactful caregiving community today. Sign up for our ACCME accredited course instruction and take the first step towards advancing your career and making a difference in the lives of your patients. So tell me, did the Sweden entity pay you as a consultant writer?
No, I had to pay them because they were starting out too. So I had to pay them as an executive contributor, which was fine with me.
Because it was the international exposure.
Exactly.
Incredible.
Exactly. And that's what I tell a lot of people. They're like, I don't want to spend money. Well, guess what? You don't want to spend money, you're not going to be successful, because there are times where you're going to have to spend money. And this was an opportunity for me to, in our first year of business, to go global. And I was like, it's a no-brainer. So I wrote for them for 1 year. I ended up becoming, who was a woman that owns the magazine. It's Brains Magazine, Brainz. So a lot of you probably know it now because she's doing amazing. So we ended up getting, becoming a great friends. And she gave me the opportunity when I left to come back at any time. So now her magazine, her digital magazine, has blown up. But I was listed again as one of the up and coming small businesses. But I was on the cover with people like, I don't know, Oprah Winfrey and all these other people. And I'm like, how did I get here now? Again, remember, starting this at 55, starting it after
In
COVID.
Panera, in Panera, in
In
Panera.
Panera, in a
I
Panera.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell me now your balance in terms of the global speaking
Mhm.
and what exactly the group looks like now or the entity looks like now today in terms of your events, what you do for women locally, etc.
Well, the events look like now we do in person and we do also online. So that has never stopped. I stayed in Philadelphia until 2.5 years ago. So now I'm in the suburbs of Philadelphia, Montgomery County. So up here in Montgomery County, it's Pottstown, Allentown, Lehigh Valley. So now we are growing in this area here. So nothing has stopped. Everything is still the same. I still do a lot of stuff online because I can't forget about my international and national people because they were like, don't forget about us. So I still want to be able to service them and what it is that we're doing and give them an opportunity. So when we first started this organization, we grew it to over 1,200 women in our community. So now we're a little over 2,000 in our community, and we're still
Amazing.
yeah, and we're still growing. So now we are starting to get more of an international audience. My first speaking international gig was in India, and that was virtual. And recently, last month, I had the opportunity to go over to Paris, France, and speak on their international stage doing Women's History Month. So that is like our second international, but on the stage. And then I was asked to come back in September of this year to speak in Rome, Italy on their international stage. So I'll be doing that virtually. I just don't have the time to get over there. But if I do, it might be in person, but definitely right now, virtually.
I love it. I love it. So, how does one find you? Do you do direct mentorship of your clients, et cetera, both internationally, hybrid, et cetera?
Okay, so internationally, I do not do any coaching or anything like that. As I almost forgot. Somehow, a organization in London found me, and they want me to do a master class for their website. So I'm working on that to upload it and give it to them. So that will be in the UK part, but I try to keep it to national because it's easier for me. I don't do a lot of coaching because I really don't have the time to. I don't label myself as a business coach. I don't have that title or anything like that. I label myself as a business strategist and success builder because the reason why I say that is because I can show you how to build a business because I've done it before and I'm doing it now. I don't want to take away the title of people that are coaches or business coaches and different things like that because that I am not. I am a
Hmm.
strategist. I can help you build your business.
Nice. So, small businesses how does one connect with you both from that aspect and also for speaking opportunities? Let us know all of the websites, how one can connect with you, all the things.
Absolutely. So our website is phillywnc.org. That's phillywnc.org. You can reach me at my email, Felicia at phillywnc.org. We're also on Facebook as Felicia Shanken. I'm on LinkedIn, Felicia Shanken, and we're on Instagram as at PhillyWNC. And we also have a YouTube channel, the Philadelphia Women's Network Connection.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, this has been such a burst of sunshine this morning. I'd like you to just give us some parting words for our CarePod audience. I definitely know that you've encouraged our women entrepreneurs, our males even that want to encourage their special women in their lives, that there is still vision, there's still purpose, there's still a push in you if you have so said that desire, and your story is just incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, my parting words is this, okay? Listen to that little voice that tells you your direction in life. We all have a purpose here. We were all born with a purpose, okay? One thing you do not want to do is leave this world with your gifts still inside of you. You were given gifts to share to the world, okay? Also, it's never too late to be what you should have been. It's never too late to start. I don't care what, there's a lot of people that start at any age. If God gave you a vision and there's a calling in you that you can't eat, sleep, and you dream this vision that God give you, do it. Do it. So what is the worst thing that can happen? You fail.
Right.
Who cares?
Right.
Who cares? But what's the best thing that can happen? You soar. And It's in soaring that you impact other people's lives and you become what you truly are meant to be when you were born. So that's my parting words to you. And don't listen to the oys. Don't listen to the outside influences. They don't know your vision. They haven't seen your vision. God gave you the vision. And if he gave it to you, you know it's going to work.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for joining me on the CarePod.
Thank you, Dr. Kiplee, for having me.
Great information right from the source. For more information on how to caregive like a boss, check out impactfulcaregiving.com. Want to be a guest on the show? Contact us at CarePod at impactfulcaregiving.com.